Oh man. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Quinton here.
And Taryn.
And we're about to record our episode 11 of the podcast.
Episode 11.
Yeah, it's episode 11, actually, because I got a few more to record in between.
Oh, okay.
So we just go ahead and do episode 11. If you have not checked it out, we are on iTunes. So check out the podcast via iTunes. Just type in "Produce for Yourself." If you have an iPhone, you all have the what is it? What is that thing called? What is it called? The podcast app.
Oh, okay. I'm very
The
glad.
podcast app, yeah. The podcast app, you can go right on there, type in "Produce for Yourself." So we just letting you guys in as we record episode 11, titled "How to Distinguish Yourself in 2017."
We're also on SoundCloud too.
We're on SoundCloud as well. So this one is just going to be about how to distinguish yourself from everyone in 2017. Talk about personal branding and just telling your story. So enjoy, guys. So we're about to record. So comment your questions, whatever like that, and we'll address them. So peace. Hold on. 1, 2. Welcome to the Produce for Yourself podcast. I am your host, Quinton Lewis, alongside
Taryn Lewis.
and this is episode number 11, titled "How to Distinguish Yourself in 2017." That is a great question, and I actually got inspired to do this episode from a blog post I wrote back in November about distinguishing yourself because, man, it's a lot of, it's a lot of scamming and a lot of just people not providing value, and I get a lot of inboxing about just asking about, how to build your brand and, how can I, separate myself from, others that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So this is the reason why we wanted to do this episode, to kind of just talk about how to distinguish yourself. So I'm going to jump right in, and Taryn, whenever you want to just chime in, but I'm going to jump right in and just answer the question right off. In my opinion, and by no means, I am not an expert. I am still on my Produce for Yourself journey. I'm 25.
You are an expert.
Okay, I mean, you can say I'm an expert, but I don't like to, because I still have so much to learn. Even like Craig says, he's like, you don't even know what you don't know.
Right, but you're just sharing what you've learned so far in your experience.
Right, just sharing what I learned. So my answer about how to distinguish yourself in 2017, that would be simply to tell your story and to be yourself. That right there is so priceless, and it costs you nothing to be yourself and to just tell your story. Because this is the thing. If you open up and let your wall down and become vulnerable and let people know who you are and tell your story, you're going to start connecting with so many other people that deal with the same things that you go through. You're gonna connect with people that have been scared, to come out about certain things. Because you remember when we were at the meetup on that Thursday, and we told this story before about the young man that had people going around telling our stories, and he didn't want to tell his story for some odd reason, because he was just like, man, ain't nobody went through what I went through or whatnot. But as soon as he opened up and started telling his story was literally almost the exact type of timeline like I went through. And that's the thing, is that when you open up and let that wall down, oh man, you're going to connect with these people that are going to begin to like you. They're going to begin to know you. They're going to trust you, because we all share similar stories here, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the ways that I feel that you can distinguish yourself. And that actually kills two birds with one stone. That builds the personal brand at the same time. Mm-hmm. And, just by easily get your phone, make a video right in front of your face, and just start, talking, talk about yourself. Tell your story, let us know, what you're going through, or your ideas or your plans or whatever it is, this is going to, build trust and build sort of I'm not going to say a following, but as you consistently keep
People
on doing
want to
that,
hear your story.
There's
somebody somewhere there. I think this is one way that I have to think about it, because I think that we think within our world and within our community that it's so small, and that if one person's done it, then it's been done, right, and it's over and done with. But that's really not the case. You still have the chance, and you still have the opportunity to make it work for you. And pretty much that's simple by just being yourself, explaining your story, documenting your story, being yourself, and you find that it works for you. Like even just within me and Quinton's journey, as far as produce for yourself and just the 2 businesses that we opened. Quinton has Ruach Akkad, his landscape business, and I have Urban Eden, the skincare business. And just even with that, it was really just a matter of like how can I be myself? Like how can you be yourself the most? I mean, because it's like we started these businesses and we start these movements based off of things that we already believe in, things that already matter within our lifestyle. So it's like you take that, you make an organization out of it, or you make it something. And that's a culture that we're a part of these days in society, because videos are going viral or people are talking about other people's business and living into other people's lives. So it's just like a matter of not being regular. Being regular is being robotic. Like you don't have a story to tell because you're just doing the same thing.
You're just like everybody else.
Right. But you want to be yourself, and being yourself is like not being robotic and just doing things that are placed, within a strategy, placed within a platform. It's something that you were able to create, something that you were able to, and your life, your story, your journey. Like I always say, your parents are there for the first 18 till 18,
20. They're always
and they're there dictating a lot of the things that you do, and while you're under their roof and under their house. But once you're not under their roof anymore, or once you want to actually become your own person, that's when you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, who am I going to be? And that's without even putting labels on it, but just understanding that you're embracing everything that feels right to your spirit and to your soul, to your intuition.
Right. And one of the reasons why we felt that we had to come on and shoot this episode is because this is actually our first episode of 2017. The first one, the quote unquote new year for a lot of people. A lot of people are starting new routines. They're trying to get new disciplines established and things like that. And a lot of people they're like, look, man, we've been following Produce for Yourself for a little second, so I want to produce for myself now. I want to get out here and take the entrepreneurship route and take that leap. But first, you gotta build yourself up. That's what you got to do. You got to be able to, take that question again. How are you going to distinguish yourself? Because, example, even with you have a soap company. There are plenty of people that have a soap company. So, I guess I'll ask you, like, in your opinion, how do you distinguish yourself from all these others out here that are doing the same thing that you're doing, making soap just like you?
I don't even know. Like, I think to say, like, as far as how I distinguish myself is that I just go hard and focus on my brand. Focus on, I can't build Urban Eden focusing on anybody else who has a soap company, focusing on Shea Moisture or something like that. I can't build Urban Eden in that sense.
You can learn from them.
You can learn from them, but you can't build for yourself focusing so hard on what somebody else is doing. You have to focus on, and it's cool to look at what other people are doing, because that's how they kind of help set the standard if somebody's come before you. That's the great thing about people that have come before you, so that you can look at them, see what they're doing, and implement that into your own movement, into your own business. And that was just one way that Urban Eden extinguished themselves, is we just stayed true to ourselves. Like, I know that I like, I'm into earthy herbal products. I'm into earthy herbal lifestyles, holistic lifestyle. So whatever I created was going to be a reflection of that. So when
reflection of you.
Yeah, reflection of yourself.
Right.
And everybody has a beauty to them, even though some of us may point out so many flaws that we might have in ourselves, but everybody has a beauty to them. Everybody is unique, believe it or not. Like, you're unique. And that's why we find these situations of, like, feeling like somebody's better than us, or feeling like somebody else is doing something better than us, because we downplay what we're actually doing.
We doubt ourselves.
Wherever you are in life, whatever aspect that you're fulfilling right now in life, as long as you're growing, like, you're living your journey and you're making something of yourself. And so that's what's important as far as, like, distinguishing, is just focusing on yourself, on making yourself better, because then you start to get people. It's like a magnet. You start to attract other people who are possibly doing the same things as you, who want to do the same things as you, and want to know more about what you're doing. So there's always room for you to kind of, have your niche. because the world, like I just look at the world for what it is. It's huge. There's abundance in everything. There's abundance in whatever you choose to pursue in your life, and there's an abundance in whatever you want to receive from what you're giving out.
Enough to go around for everybody.
Enough to go around for everybody.
You ain't got to be crap. That's why we do this podcast, because we're like, look, a lot of people, ask us questions on our little journey right now. I'm like, look, we need to give back. We need to, provide value for others and answer some of the questions that people have for us. So to transition to the next part, actually what you were just saying was very true. And this is actually the beginning stages of building your brand. And that's kind of what I even wrote in the blog. And I know you remember a lot of my videos when I would talk about how people buy you first, first and foremost, before anybody buys any product or service you have. They buy you first. And I always take it back to, this is me, for example, in my landscaping industry. I go out, before I sell anyone my product or anything, I go out for a consultation to see exactly what the client needs. When I'm on this consultation, first thing that I do first, I'm introducing myself and I'm telling my story, literally, how my journey of how I started landscaping, how I got into gardening, who I learned from. And this is what people fall in love with. This is how you build a brand. You build a brand from that story. Especially now today, I feel that today we need a lot more people to go the entrepreneurial route, and we need a lot more small businesses to be cultivated, because the economy needs it. The small business is like the lifeblood of an economy. But the way that we're going to do that, and the way that it's going to be sustained, is by these people building up these small business brands, building up your brand as far as, like I said, telling that story. They're going to buy you first. That's just first and foremost, by you telling your story and people buying you first, you're going to build like a trustworthy type of connection with that person. Build the rapport.
Right.
Your rapport is important.
And the way that you gain that trust, like, there are components to telling your story. Like, it's not just as simple as, just starting and telling it. But one thing that is very, very important in telling your story is having self-confidence, having confidence in yourself. And this is one of the things that I had to learn greatly, because even though I had that passion to want to create natural products and skincare and know that these things work for me and that I want them to work for other people, and even in hearing that they work for other people, it's still that matter of having confidence and knowing that what you're making is going to work. What you're making not only works for you, but it works for others. I feel like what you're like, just to know that you're on the right path, to just have that the way that you give others security within themselves with whatever message you're pushing is by having security first within yourself. You can't expect, it's just like with everything else, you can't expect others to love you, you can't expect others to care for you, you can't expect others to trust you if you don't do any of these things for yourself first. So what you want from others, you have to give to yourself first and foremost.
It's that mindset.
It's that mindset.
That mindset is so crucial. And we deal with that today, even myself. Like, I go through times when I'm doubting myself. I don't feel as confident. But that is something that we all just have to get over. Once we get over that, man, like, the sky's not even the limit for that, because we, like Ishmael always says, we are infinite. We are infinite beings, and we have so much potential. So once we can let go of these little things that bog us down through that doubt and that fear, man, like, don't be afraid to make a video. That's one of the biggest ways that you're going to even get yourself out and distinguish yourself. Most people watch. Don't be a watcher. Be a doer. I know a lot of times, even before we even did this podcast and even went live, I have certain anxieties like, man, is anybody going to like this? Is anybody going to listen to this? It's natural, you know what I'm saying? But really, once you just go out there and do it, and you just jump out there, and then you be like, man, the water ain't that deep.
You'd be like, what was I tripping for? Like, it's just, everything's behind you now.
Be tripping. We all go through this and be tripping. So look, don't be scared. Like, just, do not be scared. This is a year where, everyone is starting new things. Distinguish yourself. It's a lot of scamming people out here. It's people that are trying to upsell. Our friend Craig, he goes to these real estate seminars, and he says that all people try to do today is just trying to sell you stuff. Nobody's providing value. And that's a huge one right there. Actually, I forgot about that.
I always have to tell myself that, because you're big on that, and I gotta tell myself, provide value. Something that makes somebody want to dig deeper into your story.
Yes.
What are you doing?
That's what I started off with. When I would listen to Jim Rohn all day, and I listened to Craig Sikowski and Gary Vee and Ty Lopez and all of these great speakers. And one of the things that they all say, you know, that's pretty common is providing value. If you're not providing no value, man, like you're not gonna be able to come out with anything and try to sell. You can't literally come out into the market and just try to sell whatever it is that you're trying to offer. You got to come out and provide value. And that first way you're gonna provide that value is open up, introduce yourself. Tell your story first. Come, provide the value. What's the problem? Solve that problem. That's how you're gonna.
Solve the problem.
That's how you're gonna provide that value.
And I had another one too. Tell your story, of course. But one thing that we always say too is to not look at this as like, okay, it's an end all be all, or it's a sprint. You're gonna get, instant success,
right,
or what have you. So one thing that's important to just continue to keep on growing is to keep on learning. So also to
Every
just
day.
gain that knowledge on whatever your passion is, whatever your movement is. Continue to gain knowledge and research more about your topic, because you can never know enough about what you're trying to do, what's going, staying up on current events based on what you're doing, things that you could play off of, and things that can inspire you as well to do better. But you definitely want to have that knowledge of knowing what you're talking about, knowing what resources to offer other people, just to help them, because a lot of people will come to you and ask you for advice and help based off of your knowledge that so you want to be prepared, you want to be knowledgeable, and that that keeps your as they say, iron sharpens iron, so that
right.
keeps your knife sharp. The fact that you can just keep coming, you can keep providing information for people and just keep allowing people to grow and allowing yourself to grow.
Right, that's that consistency. You need to have that consistency. You keep learning, it's just going to keep on piling on. But I remember you said you had something to show the people within the book, Fascinate, about
about the 7. Okay, so I've been reading a book called Fascinate, How to Make Your Brand Impossible to Resist.
Sounds like an awesome read.
It's the title alone made me want to read it, and it's by Sally Hogshead. Really, really good book. But that she has a part in there called the 7 languages of fascination. So pretty much the concept is getting people to be fascinated and captivated by your message that you're spreading, or even just by your brand that you're presenting. You want to grab people's attention.
Right.
So the 7 languages are innovation, the language of creativity, pretty much creating things within
right.
your own mind.
Being creative is
staying 2 steps ahead. Yeah,
that is
staying
key.
2
Being
steps
creative.
ahead.
Every time it gets hard within our household, what I always say to myself, Quinn, you got to get better, get more creative, all the time. That's what you got to have a mindset to always be creating things.
And if you're looking to solve a problem, or if you're solving a problem, then that's a good way to innovate as well. The second one is passion, the language of relationship. And passion is very, very important because that's what gets the ball rolling in the first place, is the fact that you're even passionate to want to do something.
That's what people need to be able to see. They need to be able to feel your passion. Whenever you shoot a video, whenever you're talking with a person, if they don't feel that passion,
there's no connection.
Yeah, there's not going to be no connection. So they need to feel that you're very passionate about what you do. That's going to sell you that's going to make you a lot in the future. It definitely will.
Yeah. The third one is power, the language of confidence. So pretty much, things that we've already talked about. These things are very important. The language of confidence, that shows that you trust in your message, you trust in your movement. Therefore, others will do the same, and then that gives that's power right there. That influence.
Yeah.
That influence.
Trusting your ability to produce for yourself. You have to.
The fourth one is prestige, the language of excellence. So, you're achieving above and beyond, you're giving it your best, giving it your all. So that's a really great way to distinguish yourself, is somebody can look at what your movement, your product, and know that you gave it your all. And they see that as an example. You are like LeBron. LeBron is excellence. LeBron is a good team player.
Basketball reference.
He's a good leader, and he makes points. When you're just excellent, when you are excellent at what you're doing, and just not even from the fact of trying to compete with somebody else and trying to be better than somebody else, but you just really genuinely want to do the best for yourself. You really want to see your baby take off.
I mean, since you want to bring up the basketball reference of LeBron, I always compare the NBA superstars. The NBA superstars, and if you look at them, they're almost like modern day entrepreneurs to me because they have the ability to not only produce for themselves, but they can produce for others, meaning that they can create their own shot. But at the same time, they're helping other players get shots and get open shots. And that's what Produce for Yourself is about. Not only producing for yourself, but creating those opportunities and helping other people. And that goes with that prestige. So,
and that's how you continue to grow as well when you give
always,
back to others.
man, always.
That's how you continue to receive.
Got to.
Okay, and so the fifth one, this is one that we also talked about as well. Trust, the language of stability, and the fact that people know that they could trust you. Even your experience is really good for trust as well. My business hasn't been going on that long, a year,
It's a little bit
over a year, and even Quinton's business has been going on for about
It's about to be the fourth year.
It's about to be the fourth year. So you have that trust, and that's why we're big on reviews. We want reviews from people who try our stuff. So that's really big to just get that feedback from others, so that people can see that they could trust that others have used this, it's worked for them, and people can see that they can trust you and the message that you're sending.
When I was actually studying internet marketing and doing the blogging, they always said this number one phrase: when you're blogging, you're trying to get people to like, know, and trust you. Because when people like, know, and trust you, what happens then? They'll buy from you. They'll buy from you all day. You get people to like, know, and trust you. Always remember that.
Yeah, it's even people, and we're on, we do a Facebook Live as well when we're doing the podcast, but there are people who we've never even met through Facebook, and we just known them. I feel like I've known them forever. Like,
just through Facebook.
We know that, that they're going to support us, and we're going to support their endeavors as well. So, I mean, so that's why we say social media is big. These days, you don't even have to meet a person to feel like you know them, and to even just have people that support your business and support and trust and know that they can come to you, and that you're going to either, give great customer service, and that you're also going to give a great product or a great experience. The sixth one is mystique, the language of listening. This is something I definitely need to work on.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think you can speak on this because you're a better listener than
listening?
I am.
I mean, again, I always have to go back to what I experienced, and what I experienced when I go on consultations with clients is I have to be listening. I have to listen to what they want. You have to listen, because it's not about what you want or what you like or nothing like that. Even though we did say that how to distinguish yourself is by, focusing on yourself. But once you out here, you got to listen to the market. Listen to what the needs are, so that you are able to get creative to come with that solution. And that's what the entrepreneur does to produce for himself. You got to listen, find the need, come with the solution. All day. That's it. That's the formula right there.
Or even, because all trends are not needs. So just even listening to like trends that are going on and figuring out, how you can get on those trends, how you can implement that within your business. We were just talking to a friend of ours yesterday. She wants to, build her brand as a poet, and we were even saying like, of course you write poetry that's going to be particular to you. Things that you feel, but as well, you might want to do some poetry on trending topics as well. The other people are definitely going to click on you and want to hear what you're talking about. So definitely you want to listen to what other people want from you, and to what other people are looking for elsewhere, so that you can, kind of hone in on that and pull people in.
You mentioned a key word, trends. I actually got a blog post sitting in the queue right now that I haven't even put out, but trends is very big, and that's a part of you listening and identifying. Because trends, actually, when that big gifting loom thing was running rampant over Facebook, I wrote a blog post just writing about it, the trends, pretty much identifying the trends. I was listening to what the market was talking about. I wrote a blog post about that. Boom, that thing ended up getting almost 10,000 views within just a few days. But only how I was able to see that was because I had to listen. I had to identify and see what the market was even talking about. And those trending things are huge.
True, and it's good because there might be some things that people want that you're not aware of, and so you got to figure out how to make that happen.
Right.
All right, And the next one, the last one is alert, the language of details. I think I don't know, me and Quinton are both Virgos. So we're very big into detail. I have a problem with, I don't release things when I should because I'm just so big down to like the nitty gritty. But it's very important. I'm a very big grammatical person. So even when you're like marketing, talking about, you know, your movement or your business, I really feel like it's important to just reread it to yourself. I feel like if you were reading it, you don't want to be turned off by, you know, a grammatical error or something, because that detail really just kind of shows your diligence.
Right.
It really shows that you care. It really shows that you took your time and that you created something of quality. Detail goes along with quality. That's how you ensure quality, is by making sure that you're caring for the details. You don't want to be, you don't want to be cheap with everything.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, also too, I think one thing that bogs people down, and I only can speak from my experience, is that trying to make, since we're very detailed because we're Virgos, like every little thing has to be perfect and right. You know, I made a post a minute ago that says a lot of people will try to wait for every star and planet to be aligned before they go out and do something. And don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to be procrastination kicks in. You know, we do want things to be good, and we do want to be detailed about our certain things. But look, get out there, start, do, act, fail a little bit. If you fail a little bit, you're gonna learn.
It's not gonna be perfect.
You're gonna learn.
Some people are blessed, and they could be perfect from the jump. But
you hit the ball rolling, you come out swinging. But look, man, let's just get on base. Let's get on base. Let's
get it started.
Let's get on base. Let's get on first base, and let's get the ball rolling and get it going. You know what I'm saying? Then the home runs, and then the doubles and the triples and all of that comes in. I always love to reference the sports references, because sports to me is just it can really teach you a whole lot, just even about this whole produce for yourself entrepreneurship type of journey, because it teaches a whole lot. Because those guys they go through a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you're able to even pay attention to details, or even through mistakes sometimes, when you realize that was something that you didn't like. Oh, I don't like the way I said that, or something. You switch it up from there and you become more detailed. But just to go back over those just really quick, just so you'll have a list of them. 7 languages of fascination: innovation, passion, power, prestige, trust, mystique, alert. Those are 7 languages that were wrote down by Sally Hogshead of Fascinate. We talked about many more things, and then there's so many things that embody just pretty much fascinating people, distinguishing yourself, but do what feels right to you first and foremost. Like, at the end of the day, whatever feels right to you, and also continue to learn, continue to read blogs, read articles, listen to podcasts, look at what other people are doing, and attend their webinars or their seminars, and just constantly continue to learn. That's how you distinguish yourself, by making yourself better, focusing on yourself and allowing yourself to grow.
And this, like we said, this leads to you building that personal brand. The personal brand, to me, when you build the personal brand, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Because if you're building up yourself and you're building your personal brand, whatever business or whatever product that you come out with, it's like you already have a good name behind it, a name that people already trust. So whatever you do come out with, the people already are like, okay, cool, we trust that person. They have a trustworthy type of brand. Whatever they put out, it always seems to flourish. And boom, there you go. That's how you're going to distinguish yourself and get your 2017 started off right, by working on that personal brand, distinguishing yourself. Don't be like everybody else. Be yourself. Ishmael always says, and he even got a nice painting that we want. Be yourself. That's simple enough, man. Being authentic. Too many people out here today are not being themselves, being fake. A lot of people are very scared about being scammed and everything like that. You want people, when they talk to you, to not get none of those feelings. You want people to be relaxed. They can be authentic with you. You want to be authentic. Build that trust. Because when you build that trust and people begin to like, know, and trust you, I always say they're going to buy from you. So, any last words, Taryn, before we wrap up?
Nope, I said what I had to say.
Cool, guys. And until the next time, this was Produce for Yourself. Also, subscribe to the podcast, and just continue to support us. And that's it, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Peace.